Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie and today I am here with my handy dandy TBR jar to pick my March TBR. Last month was the first time I ever picked a specific TBR for a month and I really didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know if I was going to really vibe with that, if I was going to be too much of a mood reader and not really able to complete it, but I actually really enjoyed the experience of having a TBR. I chose 8 books and I read 6 of them off of that list. I did a lot better than I thought I was going to. I was pretty proud of that. And I actually really enjoyed having a TBR so that I had books to look to if I wasn't sure what I wanted to read. I decided I definitely wanted to do one for March. March is my birthday month. It's one of my favorite months and I'm gonna choose 8 prompts again. And I wish that I could be one of those people who has like a cute TBR cart or like films right in front of my bookshelves, but the way that my books are laid out, they're just kind of like in different spots and I don't have all of my TBR books in one place. So I am just going to be getting up and getting the books as I go. I am just going to go ahead and start pulling prompts and hopefully you can see the books there as I go. So first prompt here. A mood read. Okay, so that's exciting. So can we focus though? Yes, a mood read. So I'm gonna just go for something that I know that I'm in the mood for right now. Obviously I don't know what I'm gonna be in the mood for later in the month, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pick what I'm in the mood for now. I know exactly what it is, so I'm gonna go grab it and be right back. Okay, so for my mood read, I am choosing Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. This is a second chance romance that takes place in New York City and it's based off of a Craigslist missed connection. And when I was like 18, 19, I went through a phase of being obsessed with the Craigslist missed connections. I would look at them like every day. I would look at them in different cities. I would go to one place for one night and look at the missed connections because in my delusional mind, like someone was definitely gonna be writing one to me. Like, why would I think that? The idea of just like missed connections is so nostalgic to me. So I definitely want to read this one. I'm super excited for it. Since this is the mood read, this is definitely the one that I'm gonna pick up first. So great choice for our first book here. Hopefully you can see them and this isn't like all in vain. So for my second book, this is a bigger piece of paper. A book from an author you've read before. Okay, this is another really good one. I was kind of hoping that I would get one like that. So a book from an author I've read before. Let's go pick a couple of options. Okay, so I have 2 that I'm choosing between that I grabbed. So the first one is The Inheritance Games. This is the first book in a trilogy and I've heard that this is like Knives Out or Clue. And it also has a love triangle between a girl and 2 brothers, which like I don't feel like as a society we really acknowledge how insane it is to be in a love triangle with 2 brothers. Can you imagine that in real life? Like, hey Thanksgiving, yeah, I had a crush on you but I decided to be with you. Awkward. I don't know, I just think that's so insane. But this is young adult and I had read the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes last month, so I'm ready to start a new series, especially ready to start a new series by her. So that's option 1. And then for option 2, I grabbed Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. This is the same author as A House in the Cerulean Sea, which I loved. That was a 5-star book for me. This is about a man who dies and basically ends up in this like strange tea shop, and he is like not ready to die because he's been unhappy with his life, and I guess he gets a week to like do the things that he wanted to do and then he crosses over. So it's very Midnight Library-esque, which I really did like that book, but I just don't know if I'm in the mood for that kind of thing. As I was like reading the descriptions and stuff, honestly the Inheritance Games really sounds more like more of what I'm looking for. So that is going to be book number 2 for my repeat author. All right, time to pick my third prompt. I am not cheating. A book of the month book. I got the same prompt last month, but that's fine because I do have one that I want to read. So let me go grab that. My book of the month choice, I grabbed Ready or Not. This was my book of the month for February. And this is a friends to lovers romance, but the female main character is pregnant after a one-night stand. And I didn't realize that the father of the baby is not the love interest in this book, or at least like not necessarily. I think that she is kind of in a position where she's choosing between the baby's dad and her longtime friend, or I think it's her friend's brother, something like that. But I already thought that this was kind of like a fun idea for a book, but then when I realized that there's another love interest other than the baby daddy, that was gonna be really, really fun and interesting. And also this cover is just so pretty, and it really gives springtime vibes to me. So it's perfect for right now. Prompt 4, this is gonna be halfway through. A book you've never heard anyone talk about. Okay. I have a couple of those, so let me go grab a couple of options. Okay, I grabbed 2 options, 2 very different options. So the first one that I grabbed is After You'd Gone by Maggie O'Farrell. I've never heard anybody talk about this book. I have heard people talk about her other books, but I read The Vanishing Act of Esme Lennox by her last year, and it was actually my first 5-star book of 2023. And after that, I looked through all of her books, and this one sounded the most interesting to me, and I stumbled across it at a small bookstore a couple of months ago, and my girlfriend bought it for me, and I've been really wanting to read it. I think it's more of a domestic drama, not really a thriller or literary fiction. This is basically about a woman who apparently sees something so shocking that it sends her into a coma. And basically all of her family members are sitting there waiting for her to wake up, and she is kind of going in and out of different levels of consciousness, remembering things, hearing what her family is saying. It's kind of like a psychological family drama. It really gives me Silent Patient vibes, but written by a woman. So that's choice 1. And then very different is All Our Hidden Gifts, which this cover is absolutely stunning. And this is the first book in a YA series, and it's basically about this girl who has a pack of tarot cards, and she's like doing readings for her friends at school, and basically she is doing a reading for her best friend or something, and she picks this card out of the tarot deck that isn't even a tarot card, and then 2 days later the girl goes missing. I guess they're just like trying to figure out what happened. There's non-binary representation in this book, I believe, which is very cool. And again, like this cover just is absolutely so stunning. And I feel like I would really love this. And I also feel like I would really love this. I actually don't know which one to choose. I think that I'm gonna go with After You'd Gone because I already have YA on here. So let's throw in something different just to make sure we have it. And I definitely think that I will get to this one sooner rather than later, regardless. 4 more. Oh my God, I got this one last time. A book with a first line that begins with the. And I'm trying to remember what the other books were for this because I did Killer Instinct for this prompt last month. So let me go read some book titles and see. Okay, I actually did not get very far at all because as I was about to put this book away, I was like, let me just check and make sure it doesn't start with the. And it does. The first line is, the story of how I ended up with the Choky Card Tarot Consultancy can be told in 4 detentions, 3 notes sent home, 2 bad report cards, and 1 Tuesday afternoon that ended with me locked in a cupboard. Okay, that was an insanely long sentence, but look at this beautiful, like, these little stars on the book. I just love. That length of that sentence scared me a little bit, but I am excited that I get to still pick this. I mean, I know I can't stop showing parts of this book, but it's just genuinely so stunning. So all our hidden gifts gets to be book number 5. And let's pick number 6. I need to like try to get ones that are folded though, because I feel like I didn't fold them when I put them back in before, and those are like the ones that I already picked. A book that intimidates you. Oh shit. Okay, so if I'm gonna be honest, there is really only one book on my TBR that intimidates me to the level that this book does. So as much as I want to pretend that that's not true, I'm just gonna go for it and pick this book, and that is The Great Alone by Kristen and Hanna. This is a historical fiction that takes place in Alaska in the 1970s. I don't really know that much more about it. It's around the time that the Vietnam War ended, and I'm not going to read any more on the back of this book, but I'm very intimidated by it because of the length and also because of the fact that it's a historical fiction. I mean, honestly, I've read books a lot longer than this. It's only almost 600 pages. I know, like, only, but I mean, Magnolia Park's Into the Dark was over 700 pages and I read it like so fast. So it's mainly the subject matter. I don't read a ton of historical fiction. It is out of my comfort zone. It does intimidate me, but I've also heard that this book is absolutely amazing. So I really do want to read it. I want to give Kristen Hanna a chance because she is such a popular author. So there we have book number 6. Okay, I hope that one of my next 2 picks gives me something where I can pick a thriller, because I can feel that I'm kind of gonna be in the mood for a thriller. What do we have? A book by an author whose name starts with R. Stop. I literally couldn't have picked a better prompt if I cheated. I already know what book I'm picking. I'm so excited. Hold on. Okay, 100% I am picking The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This has been on my TBR forever. This is a paranormal thriller, which last month I read Dead 11, which I personally would classify as a paranormal thriller, and I quite enjoyed it, and I've been looking for something with a similar vibe, and I think out of all the books on my shelf, this is gonna be the closest thing. I have heard divisive reviews about this, so I'm very curious as to which side I fall on. Like I said, it's been on my TBR since like the beginning of the beginning, so this is gonna be a great one to be able to check off, and I'm really in the mood to read it. And let's pick our last one. Last book, let's make it a good one. Okay, let's make it a good one. A paperback book. Oh my gosh. Feels like these prompts are pretty easy this month. This is like basically a free pick. So I'm gonna grab like 2 or 3 choices so that we can see kind of which one is speaking to us. Okay, I grabbed 2 choices here. So first I was thinking Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. This is another thriller. A woman and then a woman and her daughter all go missing. The case goes cold. It's been 11 years, and one of them, the daughter who was 6 years old at the time, returns from wherever she was. And I guess they're like trying to figure out what happened to her. This sounds so good. As I'm reading the back, I'm like, dang, I really want to read this. But I also have my other choice here, which is Delilah Green Doesn't Care. This is a sapphic romance. First book in what is currently a 3-part series, and I've been wanting to read this one for a while. It's on my 24 books that I want to read in 2024. My girlfriend read this one last month and she absolutely loved it. I really want to read this one. I do. And I don't have a queer book. I feel like I should pick this one, but my heart is telling me this one. Like, after I read the back of this book, I wanted to pick it up like now. So I'm going to go with Local Woman Missing for my last book on my March TBR. And what I think that I'm probably going to do is have this kind of going as an audiobook throughout the month. That is how my girlfriend read it. She listened to it on audio, I think the whole thing. I might as well like do the audio and get the same experience as her. That would be fun. And of course I can always pick it up physically because I do have the book. So yeah, we're gonna put this one to the side. And we have an absolutely amazing TBR for March. Honestly, I don't think that this video could have gone better for me. I'm so happy. I feel like this is almost the exact TBR that I would have picked without the prompt. So just to wrap it up here, I'm going to try to do this quite carefully. We have Before We Were Strangers, The Inheritance Games, Ready or Not, After You'd Gone, All Our Hidden Gifts, The Great Alone, The House Across the Lake, and Local Woman Missing. So that is it for this month's TBR jar video. Definitely keep on the lookout for videos that will be featuring these books throughout the month. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you for my next one.